Hi guys, this is Hero. How's everyone doing today? Aaj bata kem cho, aaj sab kaise ho. So today I'm going over the most common misconception or misconceptions about Jupiter, Dasha, or specifically Mahadesha, right? Jupiter comes right after Rahu and right before Saturn, right? And for various reasons, especially because most of the positive, words in our scriptures were coming from a very spiritual mindset, not, more of a material one like the world is, viewing it today. People think that Jupiter is primarily a materially benefic planet, okay? And while this is true to an extent, this is not Jupiter's focus, right? Most of the material stuff you want is primarily going to come from Venus and Mercury, okay, in general, right? Without looking at, your chart in specific. Why? Because everything you want is stemming from your ego, right? What planet governs your ego? It's the sun, right? And Mercury and Venus, these are the two planets that orbit the sun very closely, astronomically and astrologically, okay? So these two planets, everything your ego wants, these two are what's going to give it to you, right? Like literally Venus, its main objective is to give you material things and people, right? Mercury, it's to give you like material money and like prestige and things like this, right? That's literally like one of its like focuses, right? Jupiter, its main focus is not that, right? You do not go to your guru expecting, him to give you money, or you do not go to the temple expecting you to find some supermodel to marry, right? That'd be, anybody says that, you're out of your mind, okay? Jupiter, it's placed after Rahu, but before Saturn, as kind of like a transitionary period to get your stuff together. And what I mean by that is, okay, you went through a little bit of a rough time in Rahu, right? Fair enough. You had all your illusions break down and it's over. And Saturn, it's going to make you do a lot of stuff, right? It's a lot of karmic fulfillment, taking action, things like that. So Jupiter is this period in the middle, but it's basically almost trying to get you to, in essence, to stop being a big baby, okay? You went through a lot of stuff in Rahu, but it's basically telling you, hey, you need to get it together before, you have to do all this X, Y, and Z in Saturn, right? If you keep being, a baby and whining about everything all the time and things like that, it's not going to work out, right? So, and Guru knows this, right? It's literally, your divine connection, you can almost say. Okay, so it knows this, right? So it's going to get you to do things and develop certain mindsets and things like that to transition from your illusionary state to your state in Saturn, which you could almost say, I don't want to say it's like your best self, but it's like a state where you're really able to cleanse a lot of karmas. Okay, and Jupiter is the only planet that knows how to do this. Okay, it's the only planet that knows how to take you from, your worst self spiritually to literally your best self spiritually, to where you're, in this whole Maya and illusion and all this, material clouded judgment, to where you're able to really, find the discipline and to do what you have to do and stay strong in doing the actions for your own karmas and things like that, right? Jupiter's the only planet that really knows how to do this, okay? This is why the scriptures the Jupiter, or the planet Guru, it held to the highest respect that it does, right? It's not because it's the only planet that can give you a girlfriend or a boyfriend, or the only planet that can give you money or whatever, right? That's not the purpose of Guru. Now, if Guru needs to give this to you to complete this transition, that's fine. That's great. A lot of times, and I'm going to say a lot, but like some of the times that happens, all right? That's fine. But that's not its focus, right? Like Venus, it's like one of its primary agendas is to like give you, proper relationships or a partner or something like that, right? Like that's good, right? Jupiter or like Mercury, one of its like direct things is to kind of get you to do something career or money wise, right? That's literally one of its things. Okay. Jupiter, one of its things is not that, right? If something comes indirectly, that's great. And that's honestly something. If a relationship or something comes there, it's coming from or it's more probable that it's coming from a, more of a highly, spiritual calling of some sort, some relationship or some job or whatever, new boss, new promotion, new friend, whatever, right? You know that somehow Guru is supporting this, which could be more auspicious, right? Because like I said, anything that comes with Guru, it's literally taking you from illusion to karmic fulfillment. Okay, but you cannot have the mindset that just because Guru is highly held in such great regard for good reason from a spiritual standpoint, that from a material standpoint it's just gonna give you a lottery type of money or supermodel type looks of your spouse or something like that. That is not going to happen 99.9% of the time. Okay, because is that helping feed your illusions, or is that helping you take you from your illusionary self to your karmic fulfillment, right? For most of the people, you're going to land in bucket number 1, where it's just feeding your illusions, right? So that is a huge misconception of Guru that you need to clean up, right? With yourself. Okay, if you go to a temple or something like that, there's like a certain word for it that I'm forgetting right now, but all the 9 planets, they're like in rows of 3, right? No matter whether you look at it left to right or top to bottom, there's 9 of them. If you look, Mercury and Venus are facing east, and Jupiter is facing north. Okay? You could almost kind of look at that as like the different directions the planets are trying to take you. Okay? Mercury and Venus are facing east, and east and north are both auspicious in our Vedic tradition, but for different reasons. Okay, east is more like material, because material life is also a little bit important, right? More of like a material benefit place, right? Versus like, for example, Saturn faces west. That's more like material suffering, right? Because that's just what it does to fulfill its purpose of karmic fulfillment. Versus if you look, like Jupiter's, it's not facing east or west, right? It's facing pure north, right? It's taking you to more of like a spiritually benefic place, right? Versus, for example, Rahu, it's at the bottom facing south, right? It's taking you directly towards a spiritually, not auspicious place for the most part. Okay, so you just need to clear up that thing, right? It's not that Jupiter is like against or not against your, your material life, right? But I'm not gonna say it doesn't care either, because it takes it uses it into its judgment, but it's just not its focus, right? It's like, let's just say your neighbor, right? Versus a police officer, okay? A police officer's focus is to protect you, right? Now, your neighbor can protect you, but that's not his focus. That's not his job, right? You come, crying, screaming for help. If he hears you, maybe, if he has a gun or something, he might come, right? Or he might call the police himself, something like that. But his focus is not to protect you. He can, but that's not his focus, right? Similar how Guru, it can, give you material, fruits and things like that, but that's not its focus. Versus a police officer, that's his or her job, or his or her focus, right? If they know something or they're called or something like that's on the top of their list, right? Same thing with Venus, right? It's on the top of its list to give you, proper, its relationships that it wants in its life or something like that. Okay, so yeah, and you can apply this to any, this kind of logic to any two people in your life, like your mother and your grandmother, your mother and your or like a child's teacher at school, right? Just to wrap your head around the concept that some people can do things, but it's not necessarily their focus. Now, sometimes people have like multiple focuses, right? Where it's that, it kind of gets a little tricky. That's how, or like, like conjunctions of planets come into play and all this kind of stuff, right? That's how that would, showcase itself astrologically. But I'm just giving you some high level, examples to kind of help you understand the concept up here, okay? So that's that. I'm already past 10 minutes. I hope you guys understood. If you have any questions or comments, you can feel free to let me know. And until next time, I will talk to everyone later. Thank you all very, very much for watching.